Some of these have an intro, some don't.
Some don't.
All right, so we'll just go around the table here. This is Psychotic Strength Podcast. It's Tyler Toby Townsend.
Martine.
Justin. Dakota.
So we got some of the boys in here today. Some opinions I give a shit about. We'll just throw that out there. If you're not here and you're listening, say better things, I guess. I don't know.
We might care.
We might give a shit. Just you may have been last on the list. I'm not sure. If you weren't asked me to be on here. All right, so real quick, we'll hit gym updates. I've been going semi-consistent. I'm actually going more for physique right now. I'm losing some weight, trying to build my upper body back again, and just because I'm strong as fuck, but my press is garbage. It's absolute shit. At Nationals, I got that 240-pound circus dumbbell. Yeah, 240 pounds. They wanted me to put that over my head with one arm. Yeah, no. Like 2 people got it up. One dude got like 6, and I was like, fuck that guy. But it was CJ Allen, and I've been watching that dude live for a long time. So, that's fair. So, yeah, I did that. I had fucking Nationals in June. When did I have Nationals? Did anybody know? Nobody knows. It's okay.
I think I saw you did the deadlift, right? For
Yeah.
what, 750 or 701?
755 for 4.
Yeah.
So, 4 people total hit that at all. CJ got 6. I got 4. And the next guy got 2. And then somebody else got 1. And there were 36 of us. And I was like, But I basically zeroed everything else. Like, or just barely did it. I humped that fucking 400-pound stone for a full minute. I was very upset about it. It was just it's just such a gigantic stone. I can pick up 755 for 4, but I can't pick up 400 fucking pounds. I can't touch my fingers. Just a large ball. Anyways, it was kind of cool. My cousin Bianca lives in Denver, Colorado, which also didn't fucking help. I could not breathe. Like, I could have got probably 2 more on that deadlift if it were here. But, like, if you watch the video, I do the first one, I put it down, and I'm like, and I go for the second one, it felt like I took half of a breath. And I did the second one, I put it down, and then I, like, tried to breathe. And it was just not happening, man.
Just higher elevation?
Super high elevation.
Mile High City for a reason.
I've never been there.
Yeah, everybody was walking around with fucking oxygen masks. It was nuts. They were giving them away because they were so nervous that the fat boys were going to die.
Is that the higher you are, the lighter it's going to be? Weight shouldn't be a lot lighter, right?
Lighter?
Isn't that how it works?
I don't think it works like that with weight. I think what happens is the air is thinner.
The air's thinner. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's harder to breathe. Now, if you train that constantly like that, you come to low elevation, you're going to fuck every shit up. But Brian Shaw lives in fucking Denver. Or somewhere near it, I think. I don't think he lives in town. But he lives in Colorado.
Probably up in the hills above it where the money is.
Right.
Because you've seen his home gym videos and shit like that.
Dude, his facility's fantastic.
Exactly. You know he's not living in a freaking trailer park down...
He's also sponsored by fucking everybody,
Yeah.
and he's running his own shows now. He's almost in his own league. He's almost like side-created his own league that's recognized by Strongman Corp. Like, they'll take his competitions into account for ranking strongmen, but it's his own entity. Like, there's Strongman Corp and there's USS, which is United States Strongman. But we can get into that another time. Good old Dion. Did you ever meet Dion when you did competitions? No? Well, she just retired from Strongman Corp. Gave it over to... Fuck, I can't remember who it was. Hayes, maybe? I can't remember. Anyways... This is my gym update. I'm just trying to... I want to look hot. I just want one picture of fucking chiseled sexiness to jerk off to for the rest of my life. I tell everybody that I think you should have the body you're so proud of, you could jerk off to you in the mirror. Right?
Does jerking off while looking in the mirror count?
Well, are you the only one in the mirror?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, what are you looking at in the mirror that's not you?
What if your phone's like this and the mirror's there?
I think he means you're looking at the mirror. You're looking at
Or
yourself.
you have to look at the
You're
mirror.
making eye
You have to look
contact
at
with
yourself.
You're going to be jerking off to you.
Okay, no,
Yeah.
never mind.
Like if there was a doppelganger, you would fuck you. Like, that's what I need here out of my physique.
Yeah, not there yet.
I'm close. I'm always there, though. I think me would fuck me well. I think we'd have a good time. Anyways. How about your gym updates, you skinny bastard?
I know it's been good, dude. It's been good. I've started my, I guess, weight loss journey back in October of last year, and I did the carnivore diet for like 4 or 5 months straight, and I lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months, and then I started doing it at the gym, and I lost another 25 pounds. I got out of 202 back in February, which was my lightest I've been since I was in high school, probably. And so, but what's funny is that when my mom came in town, even my wife's like, "You look sickly. Like, are you okay?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, I'm fine. I feel really good and everything." But it's just so much weight I lost, no muscle, just weight, and I hated it. I didn't want that. So
How'd you feel?
I felt good.
Strength-wise?
No, strength-wise, it was okay. It wasn't like where I was before, but I was still strong. You know, I think just from doing strongman for those many years, I still had some strength. Not close to where I was before, but I was still stronger than a lot of the guys at work. You know,
Nice.
and I do construction, utility construction, so I break concrete and do things, lift generators, and it's still relatively easy.
You do man work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Everyone in this room does man work. But
Yeah. So that's why I saw the blue collar. I was like,
Yeah.
So, but since then I've been going into bodybuilding a little bit more. I started doing a little bit more volume work. I'm doing about 4 or 5 days a week on a regular basis. I haven't missed a day since like the 4 or 5 months. So
Nice.
It's been going good. Been toning up really good.
And you look good.
Yeah, I feel really good. I became this health freak now. Like now I'm looking at everything that I'm eating, now that I'm drinking. I don't drink my calories. I just make sure that I'm always just hydrated. I do so many multivitamins, pills, and BCAAs, and protein, and everything you can think of. I'm taking it on a daily basis.
Wow.
And I don't miss it. And so, but yeah, no, I've just been doing that. I know we had the strongman competition coming up. But I hurt my ankle. Remember when I sent you those pictures back a few months ago?
Maybe.
I hurt my ankle pretty bad at work.
Yeah.
And now it hasn't been the same. Now when I try to pivot, when I try to turn, even walking downstairs, I feel a sharp pain shooting up my leg.
You gotta go see Jim Riddle, man. He fucking fixed my shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, made it usable again. I couldn't get my hand above my fucking shoulder.
Yeah, I remember
dude.
that.
It fucking sucked.
But I don't think I'll be ready for
I'm not saying you gotta come. Yeah.
I know.
You should
No, I'm still
come.
gonna go. But competing, I was excited about it.
Yeah.
But just I don't think I'll be able to compete. I'm thinking from the sandbag carry to the truck pull. I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able.
But
to
you
do
gotta
that.
realize too. You gotta look at the weights. So you're little now.
Yeah, and it's if I can get under 200, then that's where I wanted to be.
Really?
But
you're trying to come in. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, that'd
I
be
wanna
scary.
go for that.
I don't know.
But I don't know. But now because of my ankle being
Yeah.
how it is now, I don't want to mess it up.
Isn't under 200 victim weight? Isn't that what it's called?
Victim weight?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So-
You could be
Yeah.
a victim under 200 weight.
There's like the joke: if you're under 200 pounds, the wind could blow you away.
Oh,
You're another over 200 pound guy's meal, like shit like
Oh, okay. I never heard of that.
Yeah.
That's
What
funny.
victim weight?
I'm a
dude?
victim. Oh.
Not yet. No,
Not yet.
You're
I'm
fine.
220
You're
right now,
220.
so I'm fine.
You're
I'm
good.
fine.
Just don't be a victim.
Okay.
You're fine.
Okay. But yeah, I won't be able to compete. But I'm still just doing a lot of volume work, a lot of bodybuilding, following a lot of Seth Feroci's stuff. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of his workouts. I've been watching his videos
He's a fucking
nonstop.
monster, yeah.
He's a beast. Yeah. So
I love his shoulders. I love how
he has like the best shoulders, dude.
They're beautiful.
Wow.
They're so nice.
Yeah. After he gets a pump, if you guys don't know Seth Feroci, he's a blue collar guy, so he supports blue collar big time. But if you watch his videos, 5'6" guy, but he is probably
He's
like 5'6" wide too. So
Bro,
he's
those
just
short guys are always fucking stacked.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
man,
so-
and especially in bodybuilding, like these short guys have the advantage.
Yeah.
Like I have a buddy of mine who's 5'9" on a fucking good day, and he looks just like a mass monster at 140 pounds.
Jeez.
Right?
That's crazy.
And then I got another buddy of mine who's 6'2". Like his stage weight's 190 pounds, and like realistically, he's like, I need to put on like 10 more,
Yeah.
like to compete
Yeah,
in
for
the
his
world
weight.
because just because of his frame size. He's so big, it takes so much to fill him up. Versus like the short guys have a huge advantage in bodybuilding.
Well, you gotta see these shoulders. Like, 'cause some shoulders are like pointy or like fucking weird or like coming out in one direction too much. Like these are just
bowling balls.
Just look so good.
So round.
Yeah, he's the reason I do those fucking stop on the shoulders.
Yeah.
And when I do shoulder raises,
Okay.
if you watch one of his shoulder things,
yeah.
one of his big things is when he does like the actual, you're doing like the wings and shit like that. When he does these ones, he just goes to like right there, and it's the stop. And he's like, that's what actually
he's working on the back.
Yeah, and I was like,
yeah,
they're so hard to
If
do
you get it
correctly.
right, you feel it, but it's really easy to not have that form.
Because everybody's just like,
they start using traps.
and I'm
They
like,
start
no,
using
you have
upper
to
back,
like,
yeah.
you got to stop it, and it's about just throwing it, and it's the backwards motion almost. So it's, his shoulders are beautiful.
yeah. So
I'd lick
watch
whipped
this
cream off his shoulders.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I've been doing a lot of his videos, a lot of his workouts, and just been doing that and see how it goes.
Well, you're looking great, man.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of differences since October. A lot more energy.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's my gym update.
Justin,
Well, I need to lose some weight. That's where I'm at.
that's okay.
Largely kind of just cutting down on drinking a little bit. I've noticed, not that I've been drinking a ton, but a little bit more often, and I can see it. So cutting that out, we did a beach party this weekend. I had very little, so that was kind of the start. I decided I was starting that this week, so it's like, I have this, I'll have like a drink or two, and that's about it. So I did good there, but in terms of working out, I want to be able to do a Murph by the end of next year. So that's that, like, what is it? It's like a mile run, 300 pull-ups. Is it 500s? I don't remember all the numbers. I think it's 300 push-ups, 100 pull-ups, and 500 squats, and then another mile run. Not necessarily in that order, but if you are doing it proper, males have a 40-pound vest. So I've been working on training that with my brother, though I hurt my ankle last
it's
week.
also CrossFit pull-ups, right?
No. At least not the way I'm training. It's
Okay,
gonna be,
don't
if I do
do
it, it'll
that.
be strict
Don't do
pull-ups.
that.
I don't want to do those.
I don't think you need the vest, just do them right.
Yeah,
I
well,
think
it's a
that's
really
plenty.
slow kind of like build up over weeks, and then I'm just trying to work out otherwise. But I haven't been as consistent as I need to be.
Yeah.
Hurt my ankle a few weeks ago, being stupid didn't help. So
Everybody's
rehabbing
ankle,
that.
huh?
What's that?
Everybody's ankle.
Yeah, that was on me though. I was out with a friend at a creek drinking a little bit, decided to sprint over the rocks and kick the rock out of my way, and then decided I wanted to pick up heavy rocks because there were some ones that looked fun to pick up, which I did, but I doubt that helped much afterwards.
Rocks
So
are awesome.
yeah. So just more working out, I guess. I got to get on a solid program, and my eating. I've been doing pretty good because I'm the one who makes dinner, so I just make enough so I have food to take the next day, but I want to be a bit more strategic about it. So when I go home, actually, I don't get a meal prep today, but tomorrow I will be. Today I got chicken and salad for tomorrow. So
Damn. I think it's pretty crazy that most people know exactly what they need to do to be on track. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd say I want to say almost 80% of people know what they're fucking up on. And really, it's just that first step of just fucking doing it. You know?
yeah.
A whole lot of that. All right, you.
I haven't done fucking shit.
What?
Dude, it's been so bad lately. Like, honestly, I worked 13 weeks straight with no days off. I got in
Sucks.
trouble for working Mother's Day.
Uh-oh.
After, like, wife went to bed and I'm like, boom, fire up the laptop, let's fucking go. Things are slowing down a little bit, which is kind of nice. So things are coming back around. I've gotten a couple workouts in, like, maybe twice a week, 3 times a week on a good week, but, like, it needs to be getting back to 5 to 7 times a week.
You know, with you, we had talked, when we talked last, you had talked, I think you just did that competition like a month or so before. Or were you coming up to it?
Well, the Magic tournament one. Yeah.
Not the Matt. I think
It was one of the early podcasts. I was, like, I think it was just a month after show.
Right. So I know bodybuilders do this shit. Yeah. But bodybuilders are like, all right, in a year and a half, I'll do another one.
I'm like a year out. Like, I'm planning on prepping next year.
Yeah, but like, man, like, don't you feel like with that much space in between that there's just so much fuck off time?
Yeah, I don't disagree, and I think that's probably my biggest thing. Like, for me, I need more rigidity in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I need black and I don't like shades of gray. It's black or white. Like, okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you work out. Tuesday, Thursday, you do cardio training. Things like that. Like, I need very black and white things in my life because if I have shades of gray, I don't do well. I don't.
Yeah.
And like that goes back to like we were talking pre-recording for those like about the weight loss stuff. Like I was 270, being a 5'11" guy. So like, and then I lost over 110 pounds by the time I competed on stage. And so it's like I have to be an abstainer, not a moderator. That's why I do like better on keto carnivore stuff. Like, because it's just you take the noise out.
Yeah.
So I do like I just need to get my shit together. And like we're hosting a show here in Vancouver.
Oh right, in October, right?
October, yeah. And like I got like 2 weeks, and I'm gonna be down in Eugene for a show. The Cecil Classic is down there, put on by the same promoter who's putting the one on up here. So,
well, natural strongman's actually becoming pretty big right now.
Yeah,
it's pretty nuts. I mean, mostly at, like Dungeon Fitness up north, but yeah, that's pretty crazy, man.
Like I'm not gonna knock anybody if you're being the strongest man chemically possible. Like, dude, I don't care. You still have to put the work in.
Oh yeah,
like regardless of whatever you do, like I have a respect for anybody in any kind of physical sport of any kind because of the work they're putting in, regardless of what other supplements we'll use, or they're adding. Like there are certain people who are like, oh, if you take creatine monohydrate, you're not natural, like because that's a supplement. Like you're doing a multivitamin. There are extremes like that.
Yeah,
but
Well, I don't know. I think that we'll never find out like what the strongest natural man can even pick up. And the only reason I say that is because the dudes who are all doing natural strongman, like, how do we know that one of the dudes who is on steroids wouldn't have been the strongest fucking natural human being, right? But he did that thing. You know what I'm saying?
I think we missed it. I think we missed it.
Because steroids just became a thing?
No.
What?
No, I think we missed it because of things like mass birth control for males and females. That gets introduced to our water. So we're drinking city water, say. Those estrogens and shit like that are getting filtered into our bodies. As males, it's extremely dangerous. That's why you have a bunch of, men that are underdeveloped, we'll say.
Yeah.
Where like the strong jaw lines, the things like that, that are generally typically masculine are kind of dying away. Strength is one of those things too. I think we missed it. I think that peak performance of like understanding how natural could have done probably would have ended in the 50s.
Okay.
Maybe even earlier because of things like environmental toxins, like, in Vietnam, Agent Orange, things like that. Things like that can cause genetic defects to be passed along.
Shit. Yeah.
So I think we missed the opportunity to know who was the strongest man ever possible. I think we missed it.
Well, that is a whole fucking interesting thing right there.
Dude, I like them.
That was cool, man. I like the way you explained that. I think we missed it. That's a good point. That's cool. But we are coming out with fucking Neanderthals right now. Because of all this GMO and shit in our food, we're just creating giant creatures that maybe are big in stature, but now lacking or being introduced to so much fucking estrogen in the water and shit will become weird? I don't know. Everybody's being real weird right now.
Speaking of weird things,
yeah,
get into today's topic. I feel like it's a good transition.
It is a good transition. So today's topic, I brought these guys in here because I appreciate their opinions and their values and all that stuff. And there's also a lot of different at the table, right? So I think there's somebody who's probably more on the conservative side. There's a couple people maybe. There's some people who aren't. There's just a whole lot going on here. So I wanted to bring in somebody super liberal, but I don't know a lot of those. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes, right? So the podcast is supposed to be about male vulnerability kind of now, right? And the reason I brought it up and even asked these guys to come in here was because I've just been social media. First of all, I need to stop with the social media. I'm on there a lot. You guys all, well, you stopped getting shit 'cause you
yeah.
never answer me anymore.
Yeah, I stopped.
People who do answer me every once in a while, you get a shit ton. You get all my shit. You get the most probably. You get a few because you like go weeks without saying shit, and you send me like 15. So you get stuff still sometimes, but yeah. So first of all, I do need to cut that shit out. It's a lot of social media, but I'm just seeing this huge fucking fight on masculinity as a whole, and just I don't know, man. I'm seeing this. Everybody's like, oh, well, as a man, your feelings really matter, and I want to touch on that, and I want to do all that. Like, they really want to focus on our mental health. I feel like there's a huge push towards that. And then there's also this huge push towards, but don't be a toxic male. Don't be all this other shit. So our mental health only matters as long as we're kind of staying in this little box that we're allowed to be in. And I think it's frustrating because women get all these, I want to say definitely not excuses, but just, there's got to be a better word that's not going to get me in trouble. I don't know. I guess I'll go with excuses, right? I mean, they have all this estrogen. Their cycle throughout the month. So say, first of all, I understand that not all woman is a full month cycle. Some of them are on 5 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, right? But there is a chunk to that. Like 1 week they're super horny, 1 week they're like very work oriented, 1 week they're fucking irritated, and then the next week they're doing well, right? Like, so it's their emotions and their levels of hormones and stuff are changing constantly to where I feel like they get a bit more understanding. Whereas like men who are filled with testosterone or filled with just being a man and understanding and being okay with it are almost put down for that amount of, men are aggressive, men want to fight shit, men get angry, men want to fuck things. Like, that's okay, I feel. But we don't get any of that understanding, Now they want to focus so much on our mental health that you kind of got to be a little bit of a bitch on the inside to even be heard. But all the masculine traits that they're trying to say they're helping us with or fighting for or understanding, they fucking hate. But all those things that make men are what allow a woman to be woman. I don't know, man. What do you guys got? Just going on here. Everyone's nervous, huh? Everyone's got a woman who's probably going to listen to this. Okay.
I think part of that comes down to, we all have a partner, and so finding that person who, this is an interesting topic to talk about. Trying to think, you said a lot of different stuff, but trying to find somebody who matches you well so you can both present that side of yourself that you need to be able to. And in terms of vulnerability, I don't need to be vulnerable with everybody. But I want to be able to be vulnerable at home, which I think that comes down to trust. If I don't trust you and you don't trust me, that's not going to work well. I think a hard part for people is there's so much stuff on social media. How do you build that? Because you're just putting stuff out there to look your best all the time, and you're not really supposed to post the vulnerable stuff out there. So if you do, you're ridiculed for it. Yeah. So then when you go out, and my relationship started in high school, so I haven't done the proper dating scene like that, which I'm honestly thankful about. But if you're going out and doing that, at what point, I imagine, are you able to transition into showing that? Because I have a friend, you know them, so I'm not going to get into names, but you can probably guess who it is. I get to watch her, she's my girlfriend's best friend, go through and try to date guys, and there's one dude I was trying to get her to go with because he seems like a nice guy. And I don't even know him, just what I've heard. I was like, he seems like a positive influence. He's good. Then he opened up about some shit going on, and that's just not attractive. It's not good. I'm like, yeah, but you asked him. Yeah. He was going through some shit.
So
why is that a bad thing?
So it's a safe space, right?
He felt it was, and then
That's what I'm saying. The hard part is we have to be able to figure out for a man, first of all, a person you can have that safe space with, right? And then how do we use that safe space without coming off one way or the other? Either kind of like a bitch or like a fucking psychopath, right? Because I feel like those are my two concerns with my safe space. Either I'm going to look like a little bitch or a fucking psychopath.
See, personally, I'd rather look like a psychopath.
Well, that's what we're taught to do. I like as men, we'd rather just, but then that's ridiculed as well.
See, and my views have changed, especially over the last years. Like, I used to believe men needed to be vulnerable. Men needed to show their feelings. Men needed to do this with everyone. Like, I think men are fucking weak across the board. But I believe in duty now.
Yeah.
My feelings as a man don't fucking matter. My joy comes from knowing my wife and kids are taken care of. My joy comes from knowing I am providing them the best. My happiness is when I see them enjoying things. I don't get happy. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm fucking miserable sometimes. That's okay. I won't tell anyone. Now, why? Is because it is my duty to just take care of and provide for my kids. Like, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go to work tomorrow. I just spent the last 5 days at the coast with my family. Like, I would much rather still be at the coast. But my duty is to come in and provide for my family. So I have to do that. I have to step up. Now, I'm not saying don't be vulnerable with yourself. Like, you need to be vulnerable with yourself. You need to know, like, hey, and, you know, we were just talking about gym shit. Like, knowing that I need to get off my fat ass and walk the 75 feet to my home gym, I need to do that. Yeah. I need to be vulnerable with myself. But I can't expect my wife to understand what goes on in my head and me show certain vulnerabilities with her, because I need her to look on me as being strong. Right. Even in the face of weakness, even in the face of uncertainty, like, and the mentality, like, basically you can sum this up into one thing. When your dad dies, be the strongest man in the room. End of story. Be the person that is the pillar in your family when everything's gone to shit. I'm not saying don't shed a tear, but know the time, know the place. If you do it in private, so be it. If you choose to do it with your girlfriend, your wife, things like that, do it. But
so that's what I'm getting at here, is that it's been pushed so hard that we open up, that we be vulnerable, that we show all this stuff, and I'm really, really trying, man, but it seems to be counterproductive because women want it, and then you give it to them, and they can't fucking handle it, and I'm either fucking crazy or I feel like I'm on the urge of like looking like a little bit of a bitch. So like I'm just like, are we just supposed to swallow this shit up and just do what you're saying? I understand my duty. I know what I should be doing. I know what I am. I know who I need to be. Is it anybody else's fucking problem what's going on in here? You know?
I think I wanted to touch bases on what you were saying. I definitely agree on some of the stuff, but I think it also depends on your circumstances. I wouldn't bring a lot of stuff that from me, but this past year there's been a lot of changes in my life, and to the point where I was vulnerable to my wife, and definitely I got shut down for being like that, even though she asked for it, and I shut myself out. I shut myself out to her, to a lot of people, not my kids, but it got to a point where she was again asking me, hey, what's wrong, or how are you feeling, or this and this, and got to a point where I didn't want to share anything. I don't want to do anything because now I know that she's going to either blame me, blame someone else and not her, or the things that are happening. She's going to try to deviate away from the actual reason and try to point fingers at something else. And so I think on my circumstances, when you're saying happiness, I got to a point where, yes, my kids are priority.
Mm-hmm.
They're top priority. Their happiness is my happiness for sure. I got to a point where, honestly, I'm trying to make myself happy because I try to make other people happy and it backfired on me. And because of that, now I'm like, okay, fuck them. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to take care of my kids. I'm going to take care of what they need in my home. I am still a strong father. I'll try to be a man. I try to support. And those are my things as a man I feel like should be doing. Yes, sometimes we have to push our feelings aside, but I am looking for my happiness now. Things that I wanted to do, things that I have always wanted to try because I wanted to give the happiness to my family, to my wife, but how far did they get me? You know, and those are my circumstances. Those are my things that I've kind of gone through this past year that I've never really thought, thinking of vulnerability. If a man should be vulnerable because I've tried, and when I did that, I got completely shut down for doing that. And so now I do focus on my kids. Their happiness is my happiness, but I'm also doing things that make me happy because that's what I need. I think that's what I need at the moment because of my circumstances that changed. That's where I'm at right now too. It's just I need to do things.
I think this is where I'm struggling here. That's why I called all you guys in here. You're at different points in your lives. You're at different understandings in your lives. I mean, that from you was pretty surprising for me. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect this from you either. But actually, I feel like I was there a year ago where I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to be happy. Almost 2 years ago now, I think. I'm just going to be happy. I'm going to do what makes me happy. I'm going to stop letting everybody shove me around. I'm going to stop doing this. And it's not working. It's not. I'm not happy. I don't know how to be. I'm doing the things I want to do. I'm being with the people I want to be. I'm doing all this shit, and it just seems like I'm just like that. Where did that go? Where did just the duty go? Where I just took happiness, that everybody was happy and taken care of, because chasing my own fucking happiness is fucking everything up. Like, are we just supposed to lose here? Like, what are we supposed to be happy with? Like, is that kind of happy just the only happiness a man's allowed to have? Because just searching for my own happiness to make me happy really seems to be fucking everything else up. And I don't know what to do. And I don't want to shit on what you're going through right now. I really don't. I just feel like when I was going through that divorce, that's where I was at. I was like, fuck her. Fuck everything. I'm just going to do what I want and do the things that make me happy. And she can fuck off and like all this shit. Like, and then it got great. And then it's just a shit in the bed. I don't know what the fuck's going on right now. But everything just seemed to really... I'm in a place of just, I don't know if I can be happy again. And is that just okay? That's where I'm at, dude. Like, is really all I need to be concerned about is just taking care of my kids and just doing what I need to do. Because chasing happiness is also losing me money. Right? Like, I'm not working as hard as I was because I'm trying to be happy. Trying to do the things that make me happy. I don't know, man. Sorry.
That's pretty deep, but I can understand a little bit of where you're coming from on that. But perhaps what you did just there is a great example of vulnerability that is, I'm just going to say it, that is acceptable within men's circles.
Right.
You gave enough details to where you don't look weak.
Right.
And yet you provided us enough context to where we can provide valuable input. So, those of you listening right now, there's the fine line. Walk that line. At least in my opinion as a man. But as your happiness goes, I think finding happiness in your duty, like your kid's joy, being number one. Like, I don't know how old your kids are, but I have a 2.5-year-old and an almost year-old daughter. So I've got a boy and a girl that are growing like weeds. And like everything is happiness to them. And that provides me enough happiness to where I can just deal with pretty much anything.
Okay, well, wait till you're scared, because I have a 16-year-old and a 12-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm almost done. Like, in 6 years, I'll be done. And then what?
I don't know.
Right, that's what I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to do if all I give a shit about is providing for my kids and their happiness? And I have to step back and let them do what they're doing, right? To be adults, to be through that, be there for them, of course. But I can't do it for them. So then what?
I think that's a really hard part in life because, like, having watched my dad go through it, I'm the oldest of four. So I watched my dad, after I went through it and moved out for college, and watching my dad do it with my two younger brothers and my younger sister. Like, watching him take the role of father to mentor or friend. That's an interesting transition that I don't think is easy.
Well, it sounds pretty rough.
I think honestly that's probably one of the largest contributors of why, like, empty nester divorce rates are as high as they are. Because it just, all you give a shit about is your kids, and where your relationship with your spouses doesn't have the strong foundation it needs, and then things kind of just crumble. Because it's a transitional period in your life, too.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, you got a couple years, so you got an 18-year-old, and you're like, all right. And then you got, like, 2 years, maybe 3 years of, like, this weird, awkward gray zone where you're like, which line do I cross?
Yeah.
Like, am I a father right now? Am I a mentor right now? Or am I a friend?
Because right now I'm trying to put a little foot in ass. Get a job for this 16-year-old. Because everything he wants is fucking expensive. But he doesn't want to pay for shit and he doesn't want to work. Fuck that. Go do something. You know? I got him a job baling hay yesterday.
That's great.
He was
That's a
like,
good job.
he's like, my fucking skin's, he's allergic to grass. So he's like, my skin's on fire and I made $50. And I'm like, take a shower. I don't fucking know,
Sounds
man.
like work.
Yeah, man. Like,
Sounds like a good time.
he's like, they were so much heavier than I thought. I know. So when I fucking get these bales of hay for these goats and you just watch, thanks, Dick. You know what I mean? Anyways.
I mean, shit, my pregnant wife threw bales of hay a couple years ago.
Yeah.
She was pregnant the last, 4 years ago, she would have been pregnant with Ryder, basically, 3 years ago, whatever. She was pregnant with Ryder. Then we had the year off between the kids, and then she was pregnant with Blakely. Like, big pregnant with Blakely.
Yeah.
So, my pregnant wife can fucking throw them around, though.
Right. I'm not saying you couldn't do it. It's just, yeah, they're heavy, man.
Dude, they suck.
Yeah, they really suck. And it's always itchy.
It is.
Wear a long sleeve. I'll be hot. Yeah, no shit.
Flannel.
Pick and choose your battles.
So I was back to kind of the point you had been making about the empty nester divorce rates and all that. And I want to preface, I don't have kids, not married yet. We're working our way there. But putting all your happiness into your children, not that I think that's a bad thing. I think that's probably a pretty healthy thing. And then your wife and building that relationship. But then afterwards, you don't know what to do because that's all you've let your happiness be and you don't have any for yourself. Not that you need to have this huge section of it, but how do you do that in a healthy way that your relationship can survive? Because coming from a perspective of I don't have kids, I know I want to spend the rest of my life with my girlfriend, which is why I want to marry her. And we want to have kids, but after they're out of the house, I want to be able to keep that relationship healthy. So where is the balance there that you can do that? And I'm currently at a point where I'm planning on not taking days off for a while because new job allows me to do that. I want to put some savings in the bank. So I want to get us to a better spot. So I understand the work all time to provide kind of that thing. That's kind of where I'm getting to right now. But how do you find that balance so that when you get to the point he's at and past it, that you can continue that relationship and keep it healthy and keep yourself happy? I love my dad. He was just in the hospital yesterday.
Oh, shit.
He keeps having health issues from COVID. And apparently he's like 55, he was taking C4 for pre-workout, so he had a resting heart rate of like 134.
Oh my.
But he doesn't know how to like stop, and unless the doctor tells him you can't do this, that's what he knows to do, and he's gonna put himself in the ground if he doesn't. And so it's one of those where it's like you gotta find something else that can provide you with that feeling of being a man outside of, not that he isn't physically capable, he benches more than I do. He's also on testosterone, but whatever.
Yeah.
But like, what do you do to do that? Because that's something I'm watching with him, where it's like for Father's Day, I got him essentially like a book that works through the beginning of his life to where he's at now, and asks a bunch of personal questions, and just a book that we'll have to read and get to know even more about my dad. I want him to have time to finish that, and I want to be able to read it and go ask him questions about it. But if he doesn't stop doing the stuff he's doing, he's not going to make it there. So how do you keep yourself that kind of healthy balance of work so much, because I watched him do it for years, but also know how to provide yourself with happiness? Because for a long time it was us. When we'd get off work, we'd play games, and then he'd go right back to trucking, and that's what it was.
See, I don't think your dad believed in balance. I think he believed in more of the idea of tensegrity, which is an engineering term that basically they build bridges around. The more tension you put on one thing, the stronger the entire structure gets. So while he's at work, while you're at work, you're investing all of your time and all your focus on work.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're home, say kids are gone, you're investing all your time with your spouse. Kids are home, you're investing all your time as a family unit. And then when it's just you and the kids, you're investing all your time as just being a father. So
Seems accurate.
you don't necessarily look for the idea of a teeter-totter, like work-life balance, I think is a wrong approach, because there are so many different things interweaving. You have your social circle with your friends, you have each relationship with your kids. You got 2 kids, boom, there's 2 relationships. It's not just one box, work, kid life balance. It's work, Ryder, work, Blakely, work, my wife, because, she's in the family unit too, so that all affects it. And whereas, trying to balance it, I think, is the wrong approach. Being fully invested into one particular thing, fully invested into work. Right now, like you're putting money away for savings. Great, whether it's an engagement ring and for the wedding, or just one or the other, or things like that. Maybe you already got the ring. We don't know. We won't disclose any of that information on this podcast, just in case. But you're investing in that, and you see the value in that. Mm-hmm. So, as for making the transition, dude, I got no idea. I think because each kid is so different, making the transition from father to mentor is going to be a case-by-case basis. Because, I don't know. I have a 3-year-old, not an 18-year-old. You're probably closer to me. I don't know how old your kids are.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah.
15 this week, so.
Oh, shoot. See?
15, 9, and 7?
15, 9, and 7. Yeah, you got them all over the place.
Yeah.
So, you got any input on
that? I'm just listening right now.
Yeah.
So, see what else I got.
Yeah, it's rough, man. I mean, so it's just, I like how you put that, right? So it's very, I don't think there's a balance either. I think it's a fucking construct that people tried to build their life around, and it was stupid. There's no such thing as work-life balance. I feel like, I like what you're saying, where it's very, be where you are at that moment, right? Like, you're at work, fucking work. Get your ass in there, get done, get promoted, get the money you need to get, be there, right? When you're at home, be at home. Be with those kids, be with your wife, be with, so you're at the park, right? Be at the park. You know how much people are always telling me, and it's not a fucking pat on my back or whatever, that I'm a good dad. And it's really just, I'm at the fucking park. Go up there and play on the fucking thing with your kid. My kid's 12. I'm up on there playing on the slide and shit with my kids still. Like, I don't give a fuck, right? Like, how many people bring their kid to the park or swimming or wherever the fuck? Yeah, they're just sitting there. That's not being there. That's not doing the thing, right? Like, I like that. I like what you're saying, right? Be there. Be everywhere you're supposed to be. But, like, that's what I'm asking. Like, is that, as men, is that what we are? Is that really, we're just a building block? Are we supposed to be building a family, a home, a child? Is that all we do and all we should give a shit about? Because happiness is so fleeting and just there 1 minute, gone the next, and just fucking irritating, really, as I'm getting irritated with it. Because something can be fucking fantastic at one point, and then one thing can happen and you're questioning whether or not it's even a thing anymore. You know? I mean, I didn't date a lot, right? I was almost in your boat with that shit, which it was like right out of high school. Right? I dated before her, sure. But like, I was 17 when she got pregnant. Right? So I was with the same woman for like 15 fucking years. And then I tried to date again, right coming out of it. And it was like, it was intense. I ended up just going from one relationship right into another one. And I'm trying to make that one work. And then I'm trying to like figure out like, am I just supposed to just be a building block in this? Or am I supposed to give a shit about how I feel and all that other shit? Because the more I feel like I voice my emotions or my feelings or whatever, it's taken the best way possible, but still horribly, right? The person I'm with right now is very understanding and caring and nurturing and wanting me to be to wanting to build this safe space for me and all this shit. And it's just, I feel like that's almost what ruined it, was that I was so fucking too vulnerable, where I need to just be that fucking building block. Like, just be what every man is supposed to be and pretend that all that other shit isn't there. Because when we stop pretending it's not there, we get shit like opening up too much and getting shut down, or opening up too much and being told we're not being shut down, but really their whole perspective of who we are is changing, you know, or that we're just too concerned about how we feel and not about how they feel. And I'm like, I can only give a shit about so many things. I don't feel like I need to give a shit about me. Like, it just doesn't make any sense in my brain. The harder I try, the worse things go. I don't know.
Maybe that just comes down to having the right group of males around you that you can have that moment, talk to them about something you're going through, and it doesn't even necessarily need to be you give me advice on what to do or how to handle it. You just listen and you go, yep, been there. And then we move past it. I talk to my oldest brother pretty good amount. We have moments where it's like that, and then other times it's just, what are you doing in the day? How's your week going? Did you fix the Mustang? Like, whatever. But sometimes it's, hey, I'm ranting. If he says that, I'm not responding. Just be like, all right, we just move on, and that's it. I think sometimes you need that, and it doesn't have to be a whole thing where it's a huge dynamic conversation. Sometimes it's, we're gonna sit down and play a game of Magic, and we're gonna work through some shit. I want your advice on this, you know.
Yeah. I mean, we've tried that a few times.
We've done that a bit.
Magic, and then just fucking talking over it, because it's a long game sometimes.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like the easiest I've ever lived was not fucking caring. Not caring. Just bottling it all up, taking it out in the gym. I was also strong as fuck, you know, because I'm working my ass off in the gym. I don't know. I understand what you're saying, you know, like, but I don't really have a lot of that. Like a group of dudes. Like, I don't drink, I don't do a lot, right? Like, I'm working, or I'm taking care of my kids, or I'm at the fucking gym. Like, I just, what?
You fucking nailed it. Right there.
Yeah.
You don't have a circle.
Okay.
As a man, you need a circle. Like, I'm not saying you need a wide circle, but you would need at least one, if not two, solid people in your corner at all times. One, to bully the shit out of you when you're being a little bitch.
Okay.
Because that's needed as a man. If you're sitting here whining about something that you can't control, it's 102 outside and I'm just bitching and moaning. It's like, shut up. Like, it sucks. Yeah, let's move on. Let's go kick some ass. Like, just to refocus you. And then having the correct level of vulnerability with to be like, hey man, I'm really struggling right now. I need some advice on this. Like, I'm working this out with my wife. My kids are doing this, whatever it may be. Like, can I get a soundboard? Like, can I just get, like, let me bounce this idea off you. Let's see if this works. Can you give me a little input on this? Am I being dumb? Am I overthinking things?
Yeah.
But I think that as a guy who is working on rebuilding his circle right now, I think that's something that we missed. And that's something I'm trying to do. Is like, personally, I'm trying to rebuild my circle. Like, I haven't seen my freaking best man at my wedding in 5.5 years since my wedding day.
Wow.
The dude's a killer dude. He's a hermit, though. I love the man to death, but he's a hermit.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't come out. And my other two groomsmen, like, I talked to one probably every other day, but one of them was gone in Georgia training to be a fighter pilot. So, like, I didn't talk to him forever either.
Right.
And, like, so I'm now actively trying to rebuild my circle, realizing I can't do this alone. I don't think the mantra, it takes a village to raise a kid, is just for raising the kid. I think men need it too. They need each other.
When does it turn into, when's it too much to be putting on people? And then when is it, the chick I'm with right now, I felt like we were like almost best friends for a while, right? Like when is that, because now I feel like she's taking it, she's going to listen to this. She's not going to be too happy with me either. But when is it like hurtful? That I feel like it almost hurts her feelings if I want to go hang out with somebody else. You know what I mean? Like I have free time, which is not a lot, and I do not want to hang out with you. I want to go hang out with somebody else. But that's like frustrating, Like she's just like I don't care.
I think that's something you both just got to work through. Kirsten didn't have a best friend for a long time, and now she has one. So that's something I've had to get comfortable with, because I've always pushed her to, like, you have an opportunity to go hang out with some girls, go do it. Now she has one. She wants to hang out with her all the time. That's fine. I just got to get used to it. In terms of the not being too much, like having that circle and not, like, being overbearing on them, the amount that, because as you said, we kind of played magic, talked that shit. The amount that I've done that with you can be honest, would you say that's too much?
I don't know. I felt like it was getting kind of close there for a while. Just why I kind of backed off.
Okay. I'd say, because I would say you and my oldest brother are probably two of those people, and probably the only two of those people. Because I know you will give me, just like that, it'll be honest.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about you bullshitting or whatever. So if it's something I really want, just like an honest opinion, I'll bring it to you. My oldest brother, I can just chat with him about whatever. So, it doesn't need to be a lot, but...
Well, it was like fucking once or twice a week for a little while, and I was like, damn, like, I realized I was like, dude, I need to chill the fuck out. So it's been like once a month or something I've been trying to, trying to like, plus again, at the same time, I'm trying to make sure that she doesn't feel like I don't want to hang out with her. But I mean, sometimes I'm seriously like, just, I don't hang out with anybody. Is that
Were you
okay?
talking about hanging out or having like the deeper conversations?
Well, I mean, that's more like if I'm hanging out with dudes, it's usually what ends up happening. We have conversation where it's like, at least any of the dudes I give a shit to hang out with, like it's usually I'm doing that soundboarding or whatever that was called, like bouncing ideas or being like, hey, this is fucking going on or whatever. I tried therapy and that was just fucking a lot. I don't want to go through all that shit. You know, like, why do we got to start at the beginning and figure out what's wrong with me? Just fix these problems now. You know, Jesus.
Do you think it's got to be something with with time? Let's say who was, I think it was your buddy or something that they got, or they were meeting someone and they opened up right away, and then they were like, oh yeah, I don't, he opened up so much and it was too clingy or something. Or you think about someone that has been in a relationship for 10 plus years, and then you start opening up about your vulnerabilities and stuff, and then it might be accepted a little bit more, because in my instance, I became more vulnerable. Same thing with my wife. We've been together over 10 years, almost 11 years now, and we have never been vulnerable with each other until the past 2 years, and we seem to either accept it a little bit more and are willing to hear more of what we each are going through. So you feel like opening up to someone will be more through time, instead of just you meet the person and be like, hey dude, I know we've been friends for a year or even less, but this is the problem I'm going through. I just want you to listen to me. Or your wife of 10 plus years, hey, this is what's been bothering me for a while, or stuff like that.
Okay, but to hit this a little probably harder than I want to, how do you feel like that worked for you? Because I thought you said that it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so is there some time frame that, like, you have to start opening up?
Not too late, not too early.
Right.
Kind of thing?
Because if you do it too early, that'll scare anybody off. But, like, if you do it too late, do you feel like maybe that person just isn't ready for that kind of shit, or never will be?
Or perhaps the other side of it is opening up too late is they feel like you were withholding information the whole time. So it could be feeling like betrayal internally without actually betraying. It could be something like that. I'm not saying that that's necessarily your circumstance, but that's something that comes to my mind, at least, on that end.
I definitely fucking info dump on everybody. Everybody gets all of it. Every conversation, every time we're available, whatever's going on, whoever I'm talking to knows about it. I'm not very quiet. But, yeah, it's hard, man. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it does have to be something with, like, when you trust with the person. It doesn't have to be everyone you meet, everyone you talk to, and Joe Schmo down the street. It has to be with specific people. Your wife, your best friend of how many years, or your family. I think those are the people you definitely want to open up if you can. I don't know. Maybe I even ask the question, say, hey, can I bring something up to you that's kind of been on my mind or hard to talk about? How do you feel like if I explain something to you like that? Would you want to hear it? So I think in my circumstance, I've asked the questions before. I've tried to open up before, and there was always like, oh, I don't know what to think about it, or just never gave me an answer. So I don't know. I think it's also hard. Maybe like you said, you don't really know the time if it's too late or too early.
I think you can use info teasing, if you will.
Nice.
Kind of like poking and prodding as you go through the relationship, before marriage, because you want to make sure you're marrying the right person. Nobody wants to go through a divorce like you did. That doesn't sound fun at all.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was. I'm sure it was just wonderful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, giving that little bit of information now and then to be kind of testing the waters a little bit to see how they respond to certain information. It may not be something big, just it's something man, I had a really crappy day at work today. This guy was just an absolute dickbag to me all day. The safety man wrote me up 4 times. OSHA showed up. Just talking about those kind of things to where you can kind of gauge early on their reaction and legitimate interest in the conversation. Because if they're legitimately interested, they're going to be vested in the conversation. They're going to be not necessarily asking questions, but body language, things like that, receptive to it. And that's a good way to see if perhaps this is the right person to give that information to, or perhaps I need to find somebody else.
Okay, but well, how are you supposed to? Because there's definitely gonna be every person's gonna be different, right? Every human that you talk to. So like, some people are probably gonna be more okay with a bit more of the deeper stuff, and not able to really handle the like day to day frustrations and shit like that, right? So how do you figure that shit out without being too much or whatever, right?
That's a fun one. I mean, I can speak on like growing up. My family had a very interesting dynamic. So my dad would snap at the littlest thing, like shoes in the living room in the wrong place, and it would kind of just set him off, like hair trigger thing. You wreck a car, he didn't give a shit. He was like, "You good? Good. All right, let's go drag the car out of the ditch. Like we'll be fine." And then my mom was very different. Like big things would happen, and she would be a little bit more reactive. But that just came with time, like understanding and like being in the relationship long enough to know who can handle the big stuff. Like, hey, I'm going through a divorce. Like, you don't go to, your father-in-law say. Perhaps you go to your dad or your friend or something like that. Be like, hey, I found out my wife was cheating on me. I found out, or even in females' cases, I found out my husband's cheating on me. What do I do?
Yeah.
Like you find, and that comes with time and experiences. Because I don't think all relationships can be based on time. I have better relationships with some people I've known for 6 months than some people I've known for 6 years.
Yeah.
Because the quality of the character and the quality of the relationship is just different.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any right answers, though, to be honest.
I don't feel like we're coming up with a good, solid right answer here.
I guess the question is, what are you looking for? Like,
What do you
specifically, like, what are you...
So what I'm trying to figure out is just basically, how does a man be vulnerable but not too vulnerable, right? Like, vulnerable to the point where I feel like over vulnerability is being pushed right now and making men, I feel like, almost mentally unstable by letting too much out. I feel like sometimes stoicism is looked down as a bad thing, where it might actually be one of our strongest characteristics. Being able to be there and be strong no matter what we're going through, because what we need or think or want to be happy doesn't really matter to us. When is that okay? When is it not? Because it's being pushed hard right now to be extremely vulnerable with everybody. But then you open up too much and you start looking bad, or you start giving up too much.
You guys usually wait to be asked what's wrong before you open up about something? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
You kind of hold it until someone says like, hey, what's wrong? Or what's going on? How you feeling? Then you open up? Or do you kind of tend to open up just because you feel like you need to?
I don't know. I think I set up a scenario to be asked. If that makes any sense.
Okay.
Like I'm going to hang out with him. I'll be like, hey, man, I've been having a fucking shitty time, shitty day. You want to play Magic? Right, and we'll go play. And then he already knows I'm fucking probably not having a great day. And so it just kind of sets things up. And I like to go back and forth. Because I also had a hard time with that. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm just fucking dumping on people. I feel like I lost the last Justin over that shit. He's like, oh, you're kind of always talking about you. And I'm like, but I like ask about you and you don't say anything. So like, I just keep going. I don't know. It's kind of rough.
I think that's a good place to start. I don't know. Wait to be asked, because I think that's when there's more interest in the person, or wanting to hear what you are feeling or going through. Maybe it's just a good place to start.
Yeah.
I think that kind of comes down to the relationship thing he was saying of, are they actually invested or not? Like, if you're around your significant other and they can tell something's off and they just go about their day and just don't want to address it, then that's probably a problem there. Like something that should be addressed to some degree.
Well,
I
and
would
it
think.
I don't know.
bouncing
No.
off that, I mean, it comes down to a legitimate question of how did they ask the question? Because are they asking the question like, "Hey, how are you?" as a formality, not a, "Hey, I really want to know how bad your life is right now," like totally dumped that on me, and that's just kind of hard.
Yeah, but sometimes, like, I'm not having a good time because of an issue that cannot be resolved at the moment. There's just either things haven't happened to be able to get to a certain point where I can make a decision, or just you can't really do anything about it.
So then why?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, I'm not having a good time. This is the same issue that I've been dealing with. You want to talk about it again, right? Like, god damn it!
I
Like,
think
don't
with some
ask.
of those, you just move past it.
Yeah,
It's just stuff where you got to make a decision and you're unsure, but you're at that point.
Yeah, but then it's like unresolved. And what if it's an issue between the two of you, right? That like is just gonna sit there unresolved. How are you supposed to move forward having such a big issue in the fucking way?
So something my dad raised me with was if there's an issue, we treat it as if we're the cause of the issue, and we try to fix it in absolutely every way we can before we sit back and we go, okay, it's got to be something else, which I've been told is unhealthy. But
I can agree with
if I go through that and I really sit there and I try to fix it from all the angles that I can, and that may mean sitting down and talking with the other person and going, hey, this is where I'm at, I feel like we're having this issue, and that doesn't bring any fruit from it, then eventually it's just, all right, it's out of my hands, I've done what I can, and either, if it's a relationship thing, either it crumbles, or they'll put in the work to fix it, or if it's something else, then I can't worry about it anymore. But I think part of that comes down to recognizing, is this something I can actually put effort of some form into to come to a resolution, or is this something that I have no way to fix it unless it just kind of resolves itself, at least at the moment? So I'll revisit it and see if something new comes up later. If not, I'm going to shove it to the side and go on with my day, because I think that comes to the stoicism part of, if I can fix it, I should fix it. If I can't fix it, fuck it. I got other shit to do. So now it's time to go.
So now you just put on that face of just nothing's wrong.
I feel like
Don't let
to a
anybody
degree,
know.
yeah.
I feel like AA and like Al-Anon, the kids alcoholic group.
I didn't know there was a children's one.
It's based around like your parents are alcoholics.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like, give me the courage to change. Basically, in a nutshell, it is give me the courage to change the things I can, but give me the strength to know the difference between what I can and can't change. You know, I completely butchered that, but
I get it.
basically, give me the strength to know the difference between what I can fix and what I can't fix, and the strength to fix what I can't fix. If something is outside of your control, why even bother wasting the energy? Like, I have so many other things that if you're like, I need to distract my mind, like I got 1,001 other things that you can do to move past what you can't control. If you can control it, like you said, you're going to do everything in your power to fix it. You're going to do everything you can to make it right. But if you can't control it, you can't change it, why are you even bother wasting the energy? It's like trying to move a ship while swimming. You're not going to move the damn ship, especially when the anchor's down. Okay, you can't change that.
Things. Yeah.
You know you were going to try to pull that damn thing.
I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna go do
anyways.
it.
Yeah. Well, so I'm also I'm trying not to get extremely descriptive here, but I got to say this main issue here in this relationship is something that I do have control over, or I'm supposed to, and I just either can't bring myself to do, or I just don't do it. And like, it's definitely a me problem and a me issue to fix, but for some reason it's just not happening, and I can't tell if it's like, I don't know, just conditioning or fucking, I don't know what's going on, man. It just doesn't happen. I'm supposed to be putting my ex through a lot more than I am. I fucking put her in jail a couple times, to get extremely descriptive. I put her in jail a couple times, and then I'm like, but don't like throw the book at her, right? Like I'm just like, I know what she did. She should be in jail apparently minimum 6 months to 5 years. And then I'm like, but can you not do that? Like I'm fighting the fucking prosecutor to be like, can we chill, please? Because like that's my kid's mom. But like, why am I doing that? Like, I don't know, man. There's a little, you know,
I feel like it circles all the way back to duty.
duty.
Duty to your kids. You can't be a good mom to your kids. You will never be a mother to your kids. And deep down in your core, you're seeing that and you worry the effect of removing the mother from your kids will have on them. Because your duty as a father comes first to everything.
So what am I supposed to do? Right? Like it's very complicated and difficult, and I'm trying to make another relationship work that basically looks like I'm just fucking protecting the mother of my children, which at what point am I supposed to stop doing that?
Without having all the details, I don't think anyone can honestly make a good judgment call on that one.
Well, sorry.
That's okay. You can hit stop recording.
Yeah.
And then we'll
we
figure
can
that
chill the
out.
fuck out. Yeah. It's 71 minutes. An hour and 10.
Hour and 10?
That's not bad.
No, it's not terrible. I feel like we did a whole lot of talking and a whole lot of not coming up with solutions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes there's just no fucking solution, and I'm irritated, and then I just gotta, as a dude, I feel like it's my duty to just shut the fuck up and pretend it's not bothering me. Otherwise, it comes up, and then what are you gonna do about it? I don't know. Anyways, anybody else got anything else?
I mean, you got your strongman competition coming up here soon.
Oh yeah, let's plug the fuck out of that, right? Thanks. August 25th, we got the Psychotic Strength Showdown. I don't know the name of my own fucking thing. It's a Sunday. Registration is supposed to close tomorrow. I don't know why. I didn't put that there, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to fix it. Because we got like 30 dudes coming, or 30 people. Like half of them are chicks, which is a lot of chicks in this competition, which is pretty cool. But yeah, we definitely need more. I'm trying to get 100, and I'm at 30, and I'm almost 2 months away.
And registration closing this early is kind of wild. Like,
I don't know why it's
closing,
doing
like,
that.
2 weeks
So
before.
basically, I think what happened is I was like, I need to order shirts by like July 8th. Because I have to get all the logos on the back, I have to get all the sizes, and they have to be able to make these shirts. Giving them a month is cutting it pretty close already. So I think that's where I'm at. So I'm just going to have to order a bunch of extra shirts and kind of hope I have enough.
No, you hope you sell out. It's always the goal. Hope you sell out.
Right, but am I going to buy 100 shirts with 30 fucking athletes a month out?
Well, I mean, how many of the spectators will buy a shirt too?
Probably not a lot that say athlete on them.
Well, I mean, if they say athlete, yes. Okay. Remove the athlete, problem solved.
That's not bad.
Then you throw everybody a shirt who's an athlete, you just give it to them, as part of their registration, and then have your extra ones you just sell.
One little fucking tweak. That was fantastic. Because if it doesn't say athlete, I can just sell them as normal. That fucking works. God, you're a genius. Thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah. You're a smart dude. See? I knew you should be here.
What's the biggest weight class you got right now? Signed up.
Signed up? I have a super heavy, but like one.
Okay, but sorry, I mean like this, like the size of the class.
Fucking three. 3 in one weight class, and I think it's the 220s. Yeah, so you'd at least get third place if you signed up. Probably.
Was that anything, huh?
Yeah, it's 220s and there's 3 of them, and then I have like a 6-year-old lady coming. I got a couple masters, a lot of novice again. This competition was thrown before, and it was a very novice competition, which I tried not to have novice because in this federation, he gives away tickets to nationals if you win first place as novice, and to me that's kind of not correct. It's not the
First time hearing that.
Yeah. So if you win first place even in the novice division, you get to go to nationals, which is insanity to me because like those are like the bottom 10 dudes or the dudes who won novice in a bunch of competitions around the country, and you're like they zero everything. Like they should not have been there, but
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough.
yeah, it's all right. Fuck it. It's not my federation.
Not your problem.
Yeah, I'm just doing the best I can. So, anyways, yeah, we have a fucking ton of people. You're in there.
I'm a sponsor, yeah.
Yeah, Mountain View.
Pool and spa.
Pool and Spa's there. We got fucking Carlos Bidria is coming. He's gonna do tacos and shit all day. It's gonna be bomb. Then we got Keeks Treats. She's gonna be doing a bunch of shit. Man, we got a ton of sponsors. Bare Feet.
Barefoot's gonna be there?
Well, he's not gonna be there, but he gave us like $400 gift cards.
Shit,
So
I was
those are
hoping he's
our
gonna be there
athletes.
because like I need to get my shoes fixed.
He was gonna try, but he can't make it. He just can't. And
Dude, I love my barefoots.
really?
Yeah.
I've been looking into them. I like the idea. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of
They like
fit.
Skeletos? Like that old brand?
No, they're just white toe box, zero drop, super
Taylor.
thin shoes.
Talk to Taylor. He
Buys
uses
it,
one of
okay.
those. Yeah.
I mean, I'm wearing my white toe box lens right now. I wear white toe box shoes, better for your foot health.
I say I got a new white toe box anyways.
Yeah, barefoot, lens, Vivo. I've had a couple of each. So
Yeah. Well, I don't really care too much. I play a lot of soccer. I coach soccer, so I gotta put those fucking cleats on. Yeah. Anyways. All right.
Can I plug one thing?
Yes.
We also have a bodybuilding show coming to Vancouver. The
October.
WNBF
Yeah.
Washington State Natural will be at Clark College. It's
Okay.
October 15th, something like that. It's like the second
15th to 19th.
Saturday.
Yeah.
So WNBF Northwest has all the information
Cool.
on their website.
Yeah. Are you're gonna?
I'm sponsoring that too.
Cool, man. Look at you go. Yeah, man.
Also looking for employees, but that's besides the point.
Really? Do you hire 16-year-olds?
Fuck yeah.
Really?
Does he have a car? Can he get
No.
up there?
He's not gonna have a car till he can fucking afford driving school. Fuck that shit. I'm not.
I think I
paying
know
you
his
that
dad.
much.
His dad's some buku buck realtor, right?
whatever.
Yeah,
Man.
dude. I thought those guys made
Anyways.
money.
Yeah. Should be driving like a Bentley or some
Oh,
shit
fuck
right
that, man.
now.
I have a nice car. He can buy his own fucking car. Yeah, I got a nice truck. I got a fucking 72 Lincoln Continental too. God, I love
It's a
that
cool
fucking
car.
thing, dude. Yeah. I was thinking about I should have drove it here. I wanted you to
Yeah, I
see
was
it.
gonna say we still gotta take that ride.
Yeah, dude. I'll give you a ride. Anyways,
Anyway.
damn it. So this is Psychotic Strength Podcast. Thank you guys for being here. Sorry it got weird a little. But yeah, this is Tyler Toby Townsend.
Martine.
Justin?
Dakota.
All right, thanks, man.